The tool that we try to tap into is that visuality, the showing of the issues. I believe full-heartedly in that powerful message of being able to put a video, a motion picture in front of you and showing you what's happening. I'm sure if people see that, it would just be wrong to kind of ignore it and just walk away. There's that kind of innate feeling like you have to do something about that. It's wrong.
Hello, and welcome aboard another episode of the Captain's Lifestyle Podcast. This is your captain speaking, Taylor Morgan. Now, before we dive into today's interview, I want to remind you guys that this podcast is brought to you by the Captain's Lifestyle Program, my signature 90-day holistic lifestyle optimization program designed specifically towards impact-driven entrepreneurs. So if you want to look your best, feel your best, and perform at maximal productivity so you can grow your impact and make the world a better place, head over to thecaptainslifestyle.com or send me an email at taylor@thecaptainslifestyle.com and we'll be in touch. On to today's interview with Philip Toussaint. Philip is the CEO and founder of Ecopreneur Media, which is an environmental media platform. He's also the CEO of Carbon Pay, which is a payment software that allows you to purchase items online and offset your carbon with the click of a button. Philip, welcome to the show, man.
I'm so happy to be here, Taylor. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. And real quick, before we get into anything, I just want to do a little live public accountability session. So Philip just recently joined the Captain's Crew, and he signed up for the Rituals of the Optimized Entrepreneur course. So I just want to ask you on air, Philip, did you accomplish the course? Did you go through all the content yet?
So truthfully, I've not gone through all the content, but I have started going through it this week as I just signed up. And it's been great so far. I've learned so much about, being able to control my lifestyle in the way of priorities and being able to control my sleep habits, things like that. So that's been really good so far. And I'm excited to get through to the end of it these next few days and then kind of continue on from there. So really good.
Perfect. So let's just touch on that a little bit, because I think it's so important for entrepreneurs listening to understand that entrepreneurship is not just about the hustle, grind, work nonstop culture that's often preached in social media. It's all about the balance, right? So what was it that drew you in to that course that you're taking?
Yeah, it was a number of factors. I kind of, just to take a step back, I had before a couple of years back when I started on the entrepreneur journey and I started getting into things, a lot of the kind of misconceptions that I had was coming out of the gate of college, like I have to, lose sleep. I got to work a lot. And I heard crazy stories about like guys like Elon Musk working like 80, 100 hours a week and just like going crazy. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is really what the reality is. But, being in the game for a little bit now, it's kind of just getting into things. I noticed very quickly that I burn out very easily and like I just lose energy a lot of days and I always push things off and just things get kind of backed up and it's not really good at all. So, recently I've kind of come to understand that more as time goes on. And I noticed that I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be. And I wanted to really make sure I was accomplishing things on a faster way, more efficient way, at my peak optimum kind of level that I could. And I realized that I wasn't hitting those goals and doing those things that I wanted to at all. So, I took a step back and I was like, okay, let me, keep an eye out for maybe trying to improve my lifestyle, trying to get back into the right mindset that I should be in instead of kind of these, misconceptions that I've learned and picked up when I was at college and then coming out of that. And then, I connected with you on LinkedIn and from there, I looked into what you're up to and I thought this was the perfect solution for me to be able to really start getting into those habits that I should start to pick up as a healthy mindset entrepreneur. So that's really where, my backstory was kind of started. And then at that point, I really started to, really want to take control on that side of my life and just not only looking at my mindset, but also my health and just my physical health and making sure that that's at its peak and all those different things that come with it.
Oh yeah. It's all about balance. And I'm glad that I can have entrepreneurs like you on the show to further ingrain this into people, because I don't want anybody to take my word for it. Like, don't believe anybody, some random guy you hear on a podcast. Don't believe me. But after you start to hear it over and over and over again by the guests that I have on the show, it's like, okay, maybe there's something to this. Like, maybe I do need to be more cognizant of the quality of my sleep. Maybe you're in bed for 8 hours, but then you still wake up in the morning feeling groggy and like you need multiple cups of coffee.
Exactly.
And I just want to switch the mindset. I want people to understand that in order to be a successful entrepreneur and to create the impact you want to have, you first have to prioritize yourself. And a lot of people, especially impact-driven entrepreneurs, think that might be selfish because they got in business to help other people or the environment or animals, whatever. But in order to do that effectively, you have to take care of your body, your mind, your spirit. The classic saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
For sure.
Like if you're feeling like shit, you're not going to be able to produce quality work. So
exactly.
Yeah. All right. So now let's talk about Ecopreneur.
Yes.
First off, I love that you were able to grab that name. Is that trademarked?
It's not trademarked right now, no. But we've basically used that name as a way of being able to build the platform and just kind of like build it to where it's at now.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you could trademark Ecopreneur, but you could definitely trademark Ecopreneur Media and your logo.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely.
I think that would be good, because I remember I just sent you the other day some other eco brand who stole your logo and the name Ecopreneur. They used it as their own post, no tag or anything.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's definitely something I jumped on ASAP, and appreciate the heads up there for sure.
Yeah, always looking out for you. So tell me first how you came up with the idea to start Ecopreneur Media.
Yeah. So really this kind of started a few years back. I was in college, and it's funny, I was watching a Shark Tank episode, and Kevin O'Leary was in the show, and somebody mentioned something about him being an ecopreneur. And I thought that was an interesting kind of concept. And I've heard the term before, but I never dug too deep into it. So at that point, I kind of just did my research and I looked into it, and I was like, what is this concept about, being an ecopreneur and understanding what that's all about. I came up with the classic kind of definition of, somebody that's in business, but, entrepreneur really, and they're looking to make an impact, not only on people, but also the planet, and trying to really incorporate the side of the planet. And I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to be able to kind of explore that, expand that, and create a brand around it, and really build that brand recognition around that term and that ideology. So, and I started at first, I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to go with it yet, but I knew my background stemmed from digital marketing at the time. And also I had a love for the environment. I was an environmental major when I was in college, as well as a business major. And I wanted to be able to build out a brand around that concept. So, fast forward, I turned into a media company. And then at the time, my co-founder at the time was helping me kind of build it out and understand exactly kind of what direction we wanted to take the company. At that point, it turned into a video platform. And then from there, we started conceptualizing the whole, idea of like where we wanted to take the company, how we wanted to make an impact for people, and really bring to face the issues that we look at today when it comes to climate change, all the different concepts and different, things that we come across. How can we provide a platform, a centralized platform for people to come to and really look at as a resource to learn about these issues and these topics, and make it entertaining? So, that was really the concept behind building Ecopreneur and everything that it entails today. Since then, we've taken a few pivots. So it's been interesting kind of seeing where the company's going, and how we've really pinpointed where we wanted to stay as a video platform. At first, when we started, we were kind of trying to be everything and do magazine content, podcasts, you name it, like all of it as a kind of typical like lifestyle and media platform. But from there, we quickly realized that one, we had too small of a team to be able to flesh that out at the beginning. And two, we wanted to really make a true impact through one avenue. And we saw that based off trends and my marketing knowledge, that video was the way to go. So from there, we kind of just took that path and then started to blossom from there.
Yeah. And for the record, I 100% agree. Video is the way to do it. Audio doesn't go viral,
Yeah.
I guess, text can go viral with like these tweets that you see, but really what people are drawn in by and stay focused on is video. That is it. That's one of the reasons why I chose to have a video podcast. Every single episode is we record it and then we upload the full thing onto YouTube. I have a production team who trims clips for Instagram Reels, for LinkedIn, for Facebook, for YouTube Shorts, for TikTok, and then it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fantastic idea that you decided to become a media company and this is the same reason that I did. This is why the Captain's Lifestyle is going to be a media brand, because I believe that's the best way to impact the most people.
For sure.
By creating this impactful information, specifically in video format, which is definitely what you guys are doing.
Exactly. Yeah. There's just so many opportunities. And like you said, just being able to cut clips from it, being able to, see it on so many different platforms like Instagram, Facebook, you name it, the list goes on. Really just a lot of opportunity and ways to expand from there.
Yeah. So now let's dive into Ecopreneur. Explain what it is and how people can get involved.
Yeah, for sure. So Ecopreneur is an environmental media platform, and we utilize the power of video content to cause mobilization. So our biggest thing is to get people to take action based off of the video content that we produce. We're currently in the works of building fleshing out even more the MVP. We released that a couple months ago, and that was really the tech and the kind of the tech behind the website that we have up right now. The way that it's oriented right now is we involve multiple different parties to be a part of our platform. We have businesses that are looking to really expand their equity and be a part of these types of do good platforms. We also have just your ecopreneurs, essentially your volunteers and people that are going to join the platform to do good. And we also have nonprofits that we're looking to partner with. Really, it's a 3 kind of party platform. So it's multi-sided, but right now what we're looking to do is focus in on where can we expand and grow our platform. So we have a business model called Incentivize Activism, which talks about the idea of incentivizing people for doing good. So that do good feeling that you also get rewarded for doing good things, volunteering at projects, beach cleanups, whatever you want to call it. We invite those types of projects to be on our platform, and those are the nonprofit environmental organizations that we look to partner with. From there, we bring them on our platform. We allow people to sign up and volunteer at these projects, and we offer rewards to these people for being a part of these campaigns and doing good and things like that. And that's really where the brands come into play, and they're able to be a part of these campaigns by not only paying for the video content that we produce through the campaign that we are working on, but also to provide rewards to the people that are actually doing good. So it could be a clothing company, any really environmentally focused company that has goods to be able to produce. Our focus right now is the clothing angle. So we are looking to work with eco fashion brands and things like that. And the rewards that we look to give our clothes. And that's kind of like where we're started. But, this is a concept that can definitely be fleshed out in, I believe, many different ways. So it's exciting to kind of see how that's going to expand and really, really blossom.
Nice. Well, yeah, I didn't know you were focusing on fashion brands. So in that case, I'm going to give a shout out to one of my former clients, Mike Lothar. He's the founder of Puka USA. At the time of recording, he's just trying to get rid of old inventory because he's upgrading his shirts. But when this is released, it should have been launched, barring some crazy disaster. So yeah, I can hook you guys up, and I've recorded podcasts in the past with other fashion brands. So always happy to make those connections for sure, especially for something like Ecopreneur. So explain how it would work if you're a brand who wants to come with you and work together.
Yeah, for sure. So as I mentioned, we're in the process right now of getting nonprofits to be a part of our platform. With those nonprofits, they would essentially be project-based organizations that have projects that need volunteers, and they need to drive people to participate and really be a part of these projects that they have to accomplish. So from there, what we want to do is get brands to sponsor those projects and back them up and say, hey, we want to be a part of this. We'll give up rewards to drive people to your project. And really, they would also work with Ecopreneur to do the video campaign and video work around it to involve them and show that they're being involved in these types of projects. So that's really where the brand would come. They would come to us. We would speak with them about, what types of projects they may be interested in. And we would also identify projects that we think would be a great fit for them. And then from there, we would go ahead and create that connection and create those types of campaigns. So that's essentially a very seamless, process and conversation to be able to work with those brands.
Mm-hmm. And now let's talk about if there's a project that wants to get more exposure, more volunteers, sponsors, whatever it is. What would that look like?
Yeah, it's very simple. Based on our MVP that we have up right now on our website, they would just go on our website and go ahead and make a profile. They would go ahead and, put up their organization, all the projects that they have to accomplish, within a given time period. And from there, they would have like a landing page that kind of pops up on the website. And from there, we'd be able to get them on and showcase their projects. So it's very seamless for them to be able to post their projects and put it up there. And from there, what we want to focus in on is really just getting them those volunteers and getting people to participate. And the way that we would do that is through the video content that we have to offer. So that's where the tool of the video content, the media comes into play to really entice and get people to notice these, campaigns and be a part of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this podcast, of course.
Yes, definitely. Very helpful way of producing, that exposure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, let's talk about listeners right now. If they want to be a part of or participate in these volunteer opportunities or projects, whatever's going on in their area, what can they do?
Yeah, it's very simple. They would just pop onto our website and they would go ahead and make a profile. There's 3 different sections. There's one for brands, one for projects, and one for volunteers. And you would go ahead and create a profile as a volunteer. And, really on the back end of your profile, you would see projects that pop up. From there, you can go ahead and just sign up for those projects. And really before that, you would just quickly put in your information, just basic information, and we keep it very, secure and confidential. It's just purposes for us to be able to send rewards to you and things like that once, you complete campaigns and things. So it's very seamless and easy. It takes less than like 5 minutes to go pop on and make a profile, and you can start getting involved.
Sweet. So at the time of recording, the reward program is still in its beta testing version.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we're still looking to flesh that out and really get it going. Regardless, though, we're able to still, have that proponent as part of these types of campaigns that we're looking to do. And it's more of a manual process at the moment, but, our goal is to automate that and make it more, even more seamless and have the technology behind it to really send rewards appropriately and things like that to the volunteers.
Perfect. Yeah. By the time this podcast is released, that should be close to up and running, if not already.
For sure.
Done.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right. And if I remember from our call earlier, you can also search by area, correct? So you can find local projects to you.
Yeah, that's a really cool proponent of our tech. There's a map feature where you're able to kind of look in your area and see different projects that are nearby to you. We're still in the process of getting a lot of projects up and running into our platform. So right now, we don't have as many projects up as we'd like to have, but, the goal is to eventually, within a 50-mile radius, see projects around you that you'd like to go and volunteer at. And then there will be different times for the projects whenever, the projects are available to be participated in. So yes, that is a really cool feature that we are still developing and in the works of, but it's really, really like awesome to see how that's going to get fleshed out. And it's kind of almost like a kind of Snapchat type of thing where you go in the map and you're able to see other people near you and different locations and things. It's the same type of tech.
Well, I'm super excited for that because I know that where I live, it's going to be a hot spot for all these types of volunteer opportunities.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm in SoCal. There's beach cleanups all the time. There's tons of stuff. So I'm very excited to see that. One other thing that I wanted to ask for the brand that I forgot is if a brand signs up with you guys, is it like, are they paying to be promoted on your social media platforms, or do you make videos for them that they can then use themselves?
It's a two-way street.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'd be both. We would go ahead and promote the video content on our platforms, but we also want to make sure that the content is essentially repeatable and replicable to the brands that we work with. So our goal is to allow them to use that video content. They 100% have ownership over it, and they're able to, use it and tweak it in the ways that they want to be able to promote that their brand is being a part of these types of campaigns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Love it. And then Ecopreneur also has the Facebook group.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Love that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's exciting. You've been getting a lot of good members in there, and we're just growing it out. Just kind of started really over the past like 6 to 8 months. And then it's been blossoming on its own. So it's been exciting to see that group grow.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. All right. Now let's get into Carbon Pay. Yeah.
Yes.
This is something that I'm also very excited to hear about because it just sounds so simple. So yeah. Explain Carbon Pay. What is it?
Yeah. So Carbon Pay in a nutshell is a checkout tool and a software that we've built that allows anybody that comes onto an online store to offset their carbon at checkout. So they're purchasing items, they want to go ahead and contribute and do good. They maybe feel bad that they're kind of purchasing on, whatever platform it is. They can go ahead and click the checkbox, automatically calculates, depending on their items, what they're purchasing, how much it would take to offset that carbon. They would go ahead and just hit the checkbox and it automatically goes through once you check out and complete that whole process. So the money would go to, essentially to projects that are doing good and environmental projects that are out there, like planting trees and things like that to really help offset that carbon. So, yeah.
And for anybody who doesn't know why offsetting carbon is a big deal, or like if they heard you say, like, why would I feel bad about ordering online? Kind of explain why that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's super important to make sure that we're conscious of our decisions. I mean, really just the little things you don't know that are kind of behind the scenes when it comes to ordering a purchase that you're going through with. You're ordering a shirt online. It might be across the country in Cali, and that's where the warehouse is located. So it takes so much fuel, so much effort on the company's part to have to get that item to you. And let's say like you're in Boston, for example, and like you're ordering from Cali, then you have to fly or essentially drive that product all the way across the country to where you're located. And that takes a lot of fuel and pollution and, CO2 into the air that unfortunately gets there. So really the goal is to be able to allow anyone to, be able to do good just on their part. And it takes small little steps to be able to kind of segue into that. So, just presenting that opportunity in a different way, is definitely the key there.
Mm-hmm. And is this just for retailers, or consumers can sign up for this too? How does that work?
Yeah, so the way it works is we look to get merchants, essentially businesses on board. So it's e-commerce stores. Right now, we're targeting primarily Shopify stores, but our goal is to eventually make it a tool that's accessible to any online e-commerce store. Um, and the way that that works is they would integrate with us. We're an app, so they download it into the back end of their store. We work with them to get that integration done. From there, that store is listed as part of our partners that is working with Carbon Pay. And their audiences of people that are purchasing on their site can go ahead and have that option to then offset their carbon if they're going to make purchases and things like that. So it's direct, kind of a relationship and partnerships with the merchants and businesses that we look to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Something so simple that can make such a dramatic difference.
For sure.
I just think that's so cool. Everything that you've got going on with both Carbon Pay and Ecopreneur, I think the combination of those is going to be something truly great, because this is where the future of business is going.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying this for, I don't remember when I first said it, but I would say at least a year ago. The future of business. The CEO of the future has to care about these three things. First and foremost, as we said at the very beginning, they have to care about themselves, their own personal health, happiness, and productivity. Because without that,
everything falls apart.
Exactly. There's no business.
Exactly.
And then number two, they have to care about their employees, because healthy and happy employees produce quality work. And
100%.
There's less turnover. If an employee doesn't like their boss, 30 years ago, they would have had to just suck it up and stay there until they retire.
Yeah.
Now you say, see you later, and you go work for Patagonia, one of the best working environments there is.
For sure.
So they have to care about themselves, their employees, and they also have to care about their impact on the community around them, if they're local, or the environment.
Yes.
Right. Because consumers are starting to become much more conscious of their buying decisions. And if they go to check out and they see Carbon Pay on there as an option, people are going to be like, hell yeah, I'm supporting this,
For sure.
Yeah. I interviewed a BCore advocate the other day on my podcast. He teaches a BCore class in a university. He has his own BCore consulting agency. So he's big into BCore, which, for good reason. It's like the highest standard of business. And
love to hear it.
Yeah. And I say all the time, if you have two identical products or seemingly identical products, one has a stamp of like the BCore certification and also like a 1% for the planet, for example, even if that product costs 10, 20 times more, I personally am always going to buy that brand because of those things, as opposed to this other one who doesn't necessarily care about the climate, who doesn't give back,
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. And that's where I would try to tap into that. Our team is very passionate about being able to present that opportunity, because we know that it's crucial. We know that it's important to consumers. There's stats everywhere. Stats that I came across, like 96% of consumers are, in the younger generations of Gen Z and millennials, are conscious in some sort of way when it comes to the environment and the planet. 88% of people are looking to make a difference. They just don't know where to start, and they are looking for companies to really help them lead into those segues of how can we, really make a purchase and not feel guilty about it, essentially, right? And just take actions in the little things that they do every day. And that's so key and important to us. And the work that I do, especially, it's really just keeping that in mind, and how can we present opportunities for people to do good. And that's what fuels me and drives me every day to be able to, do this work. And what you say is 100% correct. And that's exactly why, I do the work that I do. It's not only for myself, but and the kind of the conceptions there, but it's really just how can everybody as a whole community come together to do something and put aside our differences, put aside all that kind of stuff, and really just do good together and smile about it.
Man, that's what it's all about right there.
Yeah.
I, I mean, part of me thinks we just ended there. I had another question, but man, that was good. You're preaching. I was going to say, you mentioned little things that people can do every day. And I believe that too. I think, just these little habits that people can start to implement to add up when done consistently over time. So what are the things that you implement or that you would recommend people start with on a daily basis?
Yeah. It's, just kind of the small habits that we have every day. And that's the big kind of theme of how everyone lives. It's, instead of buying water bottles that are plastic, buy reusable bottles that you can use just every day. And you can just fill your bottle with tap water and things like that, filtered water that you have at home. Going for a walk instead of taking your car down the street, just those little things like going in carpools, just all those kind of habits, maybe eating less meat, all those kinds of habits really lead to exponential differences. If everybody on the planet is doing one small thing, it literally has a huge impact across the board because it's billions of people. It's not just a small group of people. And that's why I always encourage the little habits, because those have long-term exponential effects. And it's really important to make sure that we're trying to implement these little things. And that's why I, always encourage, let's reward good behavior. Let's get people to do good things because they're going to feel good about it and they're going to continue and want to continue doing it. Just even with carbon pay, the same thing. It's the same concept of let's allow them to offset the carbon because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, and there are, that want to be able to have that option. And they would rather put their money, like you, for example, Taylor, towards brands that are thinking about these things instead of just disregard complete. So yeah, definitely important. Just those little kind of habits.
Yeah. Every single thing that I buy now, I make sure that it's from, a good brand or a good company. So I always the first thing I do if I'm shopping online is I'll go to the about section and I'll look to see what are their core values? What do they stand for? Are they just trying to make a profit? If so, I almost will never buy that product because 9 times out of 10, there's another brand out there who does have good values, who is supporting sustainability.
Yes.
So I'm trying to tell people, consumers are starting to wake up to this. And this is why, ecopreneurs are going to be a thing, why I chose to work with impact-driven entrepreneurs, because this is the future. Just
100%.
Being good people.
Yep. I agree.
Man, doesn't hurt to be good, but it sure as hell feels good to be good.
Yeah.
And even if nobody ever knows about it, every morning I go out on a morning walk, watch the sunrise, and I pick up trash, and I don't do that for anybody else. I do that for me because I don't want to see my community with plastic trash everywhere.
Yeah. There's always, it's always that kind of, it's funny. There's a meme that goes around and they're like, oh, get you a man that wants to carry trash in his pocket when he throw it away.
Me. That is me.
And it's so true though. Just those little things, it makes a huge impact. And I love that. I love that type of attitude and action and really just keeping that in mind. That's exactly the type of mindset that I want to get people to. And if, I'm able to accomplish that, I did my job.
Well, I think that's also the only way that people can be truly happy, because I believe that once you understand what's going on, once you understand that plastic pollution is really a huge fucking deal, it really is, it's destroying our oceans. If we don't have a healthy ocean, we don't have a healthy population, just plain and simple. I just recently updated the crew. You can go read this on the study that found that humans, I forget which country they did the study in, but they found that on average, people are consuming a credit card's worth of plastic per month.
Yeah,
which
I
is
knew
just
about
mind
that.
blowing,
I know.
you know?
Yeah. It is a crazy stat that like because there's so much microplastics involved, and it's just, you can see little things like that if you were to like dig it up at the beach, and like if you have the tools to do that, there's microplastics literally littered everywhere, and just it gets into everything. So it gets into the food that we eat, the fish that we eat, even the meats that we eat today. It's like disgusting to know that that's how bad of an issue it is today. And that was not even a thing like a century ago. And now it's huge. And it's sad to see that like we've gotten to that point where we're just mindlessly consuming and not understanding the output of consequences that we're putting out. And it would be a different world if we were able to all simultaneously kind of wake up to that and understand like the consequences and visually see that. And that's part of what kind of looping it back to, Ecopreneur. The tool that we try to tap into is that visuality, the showing of the issues and those types of things. I believe full-heartedly in that powerful message of being able to put a video, a motion picture in front of you and showing you what's happening. And I'm sure if people see that, it would just be wrong to kind of ignore it and just walk away. There's that kind of innate feeling like you have to do something about that. It's wrong.
And that's what I was saying. I don't think anybody can be truly happy with themselves. I don't think they can be truly fulfilled if they understand the impact of what's going on, and then they choose to not care, or they choose to not do anything about it.
For sure.
I think that something is wrong with that person. Maybe not outwardly, outwardly, they act happy, they might seem successful, but inside there's something deeper going on, and that they're not truly living the fulfilling life that they could be.
Definitely.
And then going back to what you were saying about the video. Yeah. Cause remember, I know that you've seen the video of the turtle, the sea turtle with the straw stuck in his nose.
Yeah.
That video went viral. And that is what really basically skyrocketed this whole plastic, thing, because it was visual. People could see it. Before, it was just people saying, oh yeah, this plastic thing is a problem. Oh, really? Right. I don't see any plastic. Yeah. And then they see this video and it's like, that is horrifying.
I know. Yeah. And
I was going to say, I just interviewed the marine biologist who pulled the straw out of his nose. And it's sad, because then he said he did it again. About a few months later, he found a sea turtle with a fork stuck in his nose. And let me just say real quick how they hypothesize that these things get stuck. Because with the straw, you probably think that he was just swimming by and like the straw just got stuck in his nose through the water. But he thinks, now that they found this fork stuck in the nose, the prongs, it was the prong end in through the nostril. So the prongs aren't going to go in the nostril and then have the stem sticking out. So they think that they swallow it and then that they try to spit it back up, but it gets up in the nasal passage and comes out the nose. But obviously it's the fork, so it couldn't come all the way out. And so that poor thing is just stuck like that.
That's terrible.
So sad.
It is. And that's an issue that's exactly what you just talked about, the whole idea of people being out of touch from that and just, it's an issue, I don't see it, but it's an issue, but now presenting that direct contact to it and saying, no, this is an issue. Watch this, see this, look at that. It's like, wow, okay, now I see it. Like, I can't deny it. I have to do something about that. That's wrong, and it's just a natural, it's almost the psychology behind us humans of the natural willingness to want to take action and do something. If you see something wrong, you can't just stand by and be a bystander. Like, you have to do something to combat that because it's the wrong thing. So being able to, tap into that psychology is what our platforms are all about. So it's really just building that and rewarding the good behavior behind that, for sure.
Yeah. So let's end it on a happy note on rewarding good behavior, which is what Ecopreneur is doing, and carbon pay as well. You get the the little dopamine hit of, hey, I offset my carbon for this purchase.
Exactly.
Perfect. Yep. So one last time, tell people where they can find more about you, you personally, and then both everything you got going on with Ecopreneur and Carbon Pay.
Yeah, 100%. You can find us pretty much on almost all social media. We have all of that: Facebook, Instagram, you name it. You can find us on our websites as well, ecopreneurmedia.com, as well as joincarbonpay.com. So those are the two websites where you can learn more about those two platforms and really start to, be involved and look out for those key brands. So you'll find us there, and pretty much I'm always available via email as well. If you'd like to email me, you can find my LinkedIn, Philip Toussaint, as well as I'm pretty much on, again, most social media platforms. So you can find me there, and feel free to connect with me. I'm always open to connections and jumping on calls with people and things.
Yep. And as you guys know, the links to everything Philip just mentioned will be in the show notes. So don't worry about how to spell Toussaint. Just go click the link in the show notes, and all his stuff will be up there. So
yeah,
Philip, thank you for coming on the show and for everything you're doing with Ecopreneur Media and Carbon Pay. I really think that it's going to take off here soon.
Thank you. Working towards it. Hope so.
Yeah, it's going to be big. I can just feel that. So yeah, thanks again for coming on, and don't forget, live the captain's lifestyle.